Welcome to Talent Blazers. I'm here with Dana Goodson from Centera Financial Group. Dana, welcome to Talent Blazers.
Thank you, David. It's great to be here virtually.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this episode. This is the third time you've implemented video within talent acquisition function, and I feel like it's going to make for a really great episode of Talent Blazers. So I'm excited about this one.
Likewise.
Can you please tell people a little bit about Centera Financial Group if they don't know who Centera are?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, David. So Centera Financial Group, we are one of the largest networks of independent broker-dealer firms in the United States. So we, within our community, have about 8,000 financial advisors who essentially leverage Centera's market intelligence, our technology platforms, etc., to provide solutions and ultimately financial advice to their end clients. So we have approximately 1,700 employees supporting the organization across the United States, and we are based in sunny California, or headquartered in sunny California.
Yep, and you're in LA. And what's your role within the organization?
Yeah, so I am program manager for talent acquisition and human resources. So I wear a few different hats. But in a nutshell, I look after our go-to-market, so how employer brands and attraction strategy through the interviewing process, pre-boarding, onboarding, and then the integration of employees into the organization. And more recently have taken on an additional scope in mergers and acquisitions. So I've been able to work on my fourth acquisition with the company so far in the last 2 years.
And why have you incorporated video within the onboarding process?
Yeah, so video essentially for me is a very creative outlet and a creative avenue to really communicate with candidates during that pre-boarding and onboarding phase. And I think it adds value and authenticity to the messaging from the company. So typically you would share information about what it's like to work for the organization, what our key values are, what the environment looks like. But really, to bring that to life, I think video has been an integral way in which we've been able to achieve that. So really driving the engagement, enhancing the candidate experience, but ultimately adding that authenticity and bringing really that whole notion and image to life with the candidate.
So you've successfully rolled out video in a number of organizations, but if we were to focus in on Centera Financial Group, you've rolled video out within the onboarding process. How do you go about doing that, and who's involved in rolling out the successful video project?
Yeah, so we have been fortunate enough to leverage our mergers and acquisition space as really the pilot platform to roll video out more broadly across the organization. So we recently implemented a digital onboarding tool, which we are able to feed candidates certain notifications and push touch points at certain points in that onboarding journey. So video was just the obvious choice to include as part of that candidate experience and candidate messaging. So through scoping out what that M&A project looked like, we were able to get the green light to move forward with investing in video as one avenue and mechanism to communicate with candidates during that pre-boarding and onboarding phase.
And who was involved in the project? You're obviously leading it. How were you able to bring other business units in to really roll out the strategy?
Yeah, so we were able to pitch this across our leadership team in the organization pretty early on when we were scoping out what was in play for the merger and acquisition that we recently deployed. So immediately was getting buy-in from the leadership team and the executives of the company, but also actually having them play a key starring role in the video messaging. So we had video welcome messages from our CHRO, from our CEO, from our Chief Operating Officer as well. So the three of those players all played a key role in actually delivering content and messaging through video. So I think that was one avenue that we were able to quickly get buy-in from the executive leadership and sponsorship. I think in addition to that, another way that we've been able to really engage our hiring manager community is by sharing internal messaging by leveraging video ourselves within talent acquisition and human resources. So that for us has been a creative way that we've been able to communicate key messages to the hiring managers, whether that be change management, whether that be their role in the onboarding journey. And that's been very well received for the most part.
And how have you gone about tracking the success of video engagement?
Yeah, so a couple of different ways. So our digital onboarding tool has real-time touch points and notifications. So actually they have a heat map. So we're able to see at what point in time candidates consume that particular content or that video and how engaged they were with that particular content. Additionally, at the end of the onboarding journey, we are deploying a SAP Qualtrics survey to really dig deep and understand, how do we fare holistically in the onboarding journey, and we hone in particular on the video aspect. So you received a number of key videos or messages from key leaders in the organization. What impact did that have on your view of the organization? So to share with you specifically, the acquisition that we recently landed, we deployed that same survey. We received overall about an 85 to 90% satisfaction rate, and specifically about a 90% appreciation of the content and messages that they received during their pre-boarding phase, namely through video.
Well, that's fantastic. That's a great metric to have tracked, and probably a really big tip for anyone who's looking to roll out an onboarding program, and being able to measure video and the type of engagement. Hey, Dana, I really appreciate you joining us on Talent Blazers. Thanks for sharing your story, and it sounds like it was a really successful project. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, David. It's a pleasure to be here.